Today we're gonna repot some little seedlings into 1-gallon pots. We got some awesome strains coming up, so I'm really excited to see what these are gonna look like. We're gonna be using Mycos and Azos and Cocoa Perlite. This first strain we're gonna be repotting is called Drippy. This is by Big Cloud Farms. I'm super excited about this one. This is a cross between Gorilla Glue number 4 and Fairy Tale, if I'm not mistaken. I got these seeds a little while ago, so it's been a minute since I looked up the lineage. And we're not gonna fill this pot all the way up. I'm gonna fill it like a little under halfway up. We want that seedling a little bit down so those stalks can get kind of strong. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then for each of these, with the 1-gallon pots, you'll take about a tablespoon. I don't know where the little scoopers are at. I've been using this for a while, so I just do this. Sprinkle it. Probably be great if I just like mixed up a whole tub of this. I feel like that might be a little more efficient. Definitely been struggling in the grow just the last week or so. My AC has been out and the company is not able to come out until after the 4th of July, and it's, I believe it's the 27th or 28th right now. And it's been broken all year, so, but with this heat wave, my plants and flower are definitely showing what strengths they have. With this stuff, it's very important that you don't mix it into the soil because it has to come in direct contact with the roots. The way my brain processes it is that it has to go on top of the soil. If I'm able to make a mix with any of this and somebody that's got experience, please educate me so I can make this an easier process. Our next strain up is the Superboof Pineapple Drip. So it's my very first cross. I have 2 of them that happened in that round of crosses that I did. This is Superboof Pineapple Drip. Pineapple Drip is from a breeder, I believe they're out of Illinois. They're called Intense Genetic, like inside a tent, Genetix with an X. They grow some really awesome strains. Superboof is very citrusy, grapefruity, purple, and beautiful. And this Pineapple Drip has some pretty similar notes to it. Definitely can taste that pineapple though. It'll be a really great grapefruity pineapple, just beautiful goodness. I do not have a name for her yet, so if anybody wants to make any suggestions, I'm absolutely down for that. Look like that. These girls are definitely ready for their first dose of nutrients, so good roots on there. So she looks super happy. All right, we are all done with those. Superboof Pineapple Drip. Our next strain we have going is also by Intense Genetics, and that is Natural Disaster. Our next strain we have is Natural Disaster by Intense Genetics. It seems like as soon as they get to this stage, this is just really when they start to take off. It is going to look like a jungle in this garden. Our last set we have to repot today is our Mount Apple. They got some real long stems on them, so they're definitely needing a little bit of support. Hopefully you are a she. I figured it'd be awesome to start actually documenting the way that I grow and am learning, because obviously that's going to change as I get better and as I learn more information, apply more information. My routes are going to change and my product will continue to get better, and I'm sure my love for this will all just continue to grow just as much as the plants do. Hopefully some people are interested in watching it, and if not, I've just got a really great comparison to show myself the progress that I'm making. When I first started growing, which was only about, I think we're almost at that 2-year mark now, I was watching seed to harvest videos long before I had ever even got my hands on a plant that was growing. It gave me an adrenaline rush. Like, quite literally, I could just feel it running through me, like just adrenaline everywhere as I was watching these plants grow through people's videos. And something about it was just like, you have to do that. You have to start growing. You have to do something about this is giving you life. Figure out what it is. And you gotta listen to things when they speak to you like that, because sure as hell, I love it. And I make mistakes along the way, but I feel like that's the best learning curves, because it's mistakes I made, so I have to, nobody else is gonna fix it but me. This is the best way to kind of get your little thought patterns down. When they're in this stage and they're ready for their first dose of nutrients, obviously they are in the veg stage, they'll really be craving that nitrogen. So all of our nutrients are going to be very high in nitrogen, lower on the potassium, phosphorus, always low on zinc and iron. Want to make sure our calcium and magnesium levels aren't low, so quick CalMag additive is good for that. Also, another thing, I feel like fear has absolutely kept me from recording this for so long, and I could have had more documentation had I just started. If anything, really just let fear hold me back in certain areas. I'm not doing that anymore. I guarantee there'll probably be a couple people out there, oh, she's doing this, oh, she's doing this. You do it. This is the coolest shit ever. Yeah, I'm doing it. Just make these labels. And we are on to feeding. And I think when we're trying to do something that we have a big end vision, we have this big goal in mind, we can clearly see what it looks like and how it's going to be when we get there. I know for me at least, I struggle with perfection. We all struggle with perfection, but I struggle with this idea of perfection, that if everything doesn't look right and everything's not 100% beautiful, you know, I got this seedling that's kind of leaning to the right, and what if somebody doesn't like that? And get up and do it. Do we live in a world where everything's on social media and everybody looks perfect and everything looks perfect, and none of these people's lives are even slightly perfect, and we think that in our entrepreneurship everything's got to be perfect and always visually appealing, and there's never any issues, never any stress, and there's no fun in that. What's the journey along the way if we don't make some mistakes, do some things we weren't supposed to do, and learn from them, you know? So let's see what we can do. I'm excited. So for our first round of nutrients for these grows, we're going to be using the Sensi Grow Part A and Part B. I grow in cocoa, so I get the ones meant for cocoa. And then I also like to do this voodoo juice. It's for the first 2 weeks of veg and for the first 2 weeks of flower. It just really gives it a great boost of vitamins to get them a really strong start. This is their first dose of nutrients. We're gonna do 1 milliliter per liter. We don't wanna shock them. That would be approximately 4 per gallon. If you wanna do 3, that's up to you. I'm gonna do 4, so we're gonna go in with 8 milliliters of that to start out. And we're gonna match measurement with that one. So we're also gonna do 8 milliliters of the Part A. I did them a little bit backwards. Feed your plants, you're gonna want a pH range of 6.2 to 6.4. You can have it outside of that. I've found for myself, especially going into flower, when the plants are less dependent on nitrogen and more dependent on phosphorus and potassium, that does not metabolize in their system at a pH above 6.4 or below 6.2. They just decide that they don't want it. So then you'll start getting your red stems, red stalks, little necrosis in the leaves. So pH is super important because it's just the route of how they eat their food. And if it's not the right pH, they are women and they are very particular in how they like things, and they're just gonna say, no, I'm cool, I don't want it, I'm gonna store it in my soil for later. And that's where we get to that lockout and high ppms in the soil with the plants really just not uptaking what they should be. So we'll definitely want that off to a strong start and not have to immediately go into it backtracking for things that we started out the wrong way. Speaking from experience. Like my little stir, got 2 long zip ties together. That's what I was talking about with that idea of perfection. I've been mixing my water like this for about 2 years because when this bucket's all the way full, zip ties can get down here, and I might get a nice fancy stir someday, or I might use zip ties for a minute, and you know what, my water's mixed up either way, so I guess we'll just work through it, right? And that's sitting at 7.03 right now, so we'll definitely want to add some pH down. This stuff is super, super strong, so you will want to do just a little bit at a time. I typically like to get like 2 to 4 milliliters in there, and then suck up some of that pre-existing water so that it's just a little easier to not overshoot what I've got going on. I'll do about half of that. Mix it up. We're at 6.31. I'm gonna leave that how that is. I feel like that'll be a good feeding. And let's get these girls fed.
If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you like and subscribe. Feel free to comment any ideas of future videos you'd like me to make. Let's keep growing.